Signals in the deep, markets never sleep. Whales move silent, but we speak. On-chain truth, no disguise. This is Leviathan, open your eyes.
GM fam, today is Friday, July 18th. It's the first day of the rest of our lives, and I hope for your sake it's your best one yet. I know for a fact it's not Deo's best day yet, but probably, maybe we'll find out by the end of the hour. Maybe it'll go a lot better. So if we'll get to all this in just a minute, but just before things went live, there's been a lot of explosive allegations about impropriety at YieldNest. Deo has just done a 1 hour, at least by some accounts, 12-hour live stream rebutting some of these details, and that has yet to be uploaded. I'm sure it will be soon, but he, despite his voice maybe being hoarse, he's going to join us to talk about these live. So we definitely look. First of all, thank him for coming, and everything we've ever a conversation we've ever had with you shows, to us at least, that you seem to be like a person of character. If you were a criminal, I don't think you'd be here trying to talk about these things live, but we'll get to all that. First, I just want to plug to our sponsors, AOZ. AOZ bought the Squid Pass this past week. If you buy the Squid Pass, you get this QR code in addition to sponsorship on the website, on our Telegram, everywhere Leviathan is. The Squid Pass is a fantastic deal that way. So pop through to check out that QR code and see what AOZ is cooking up. We'll probably be plugging them quite a bit throughout the show. If you're interested in purchasing that Squid Pass for yourself, we host weekly auctions at leviathannews.xyz. All right, so with the bills paid, let's talk about it. Deo, how are you doing? You look like it's very late your time.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. No, I'm doing fine. It's a bit late here indeed. It was a long day. I actually just finished with a 1 hour AMA, just actually a normal standard Friday AMA, and I just saw the tweet. So I just had a whole day of a lot of cool things and good things happening, and everything's going fine. And yeah, at the end it's a bit weird indeed. So like I'm jumping straight on the show to talk about it.
Very much appreciate you coming on.
Any questions? No, just any questions. Anybody listening, you can just chat. It's super open. So invite everyone to chat. It's also what we just did in the AMA, right? So there's of course, projects. They do TGEs, and TGEs are not easy as a team. And we worked over 2 years on a protocol, and then doing a TGE is actually a different kind of breed, right? So it's as an engineer, as you build something, you build software, and you can see it in our GitHub. Our GitHub has a lot of stars, has a lot of forks. It's very active. It's open source. We invite everyone to build together to build this new decentralized, future, and work on things together. Doing a TGE is another political game, and we had a tier 1 exchange. Thanks. There's a lot of work to see everything that we're working on right there. Especially interested to talk about stacking duration risks in DeFi. Like, we'd love to talk about that. Like decentralized finance, what we're building, we need to be able to structure vaults in different ways, and we build our own vault architecture. We'd love to dive into that at some point. But now, first to address, kind of like I was in an AMA, I was talking about also exactly this, right? So like YieldNest did a TGE, we had a tier 1 exchange that we had confirmed. That last minute pulled out, so we had to do certain adjustments with the unlocks to the investors, but not to the team. The team is still at a 1 year cliff and 36-month vest, so we have a long duration for our money, and the whole TGE didn't make us any money. We gave away free money to our users, and we basically, tried to launch the token in a fair way. But then you get hit by MBXC with 50x perps, unexpected. And if I look back at it, I would have just done a DeFi focused launch. Also has its downsides, right? But definitely we'll explore, that more also for the products we're building, for the derivatives we're launching. Yeah, that's what we're focused on. The sex game is very dirty and very different, and I learned a lot about it. Let's say it that way.
Sex is dirty. Sex is dirty. That's got to be the quote from this episode.
Sex is very dirty. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's you talked a lot there. Why don't we just like go through like this actual thread here? You've had a chance to look at it, I think, and just go through them item by item and give your perspective on each of them. And
Well, I
just so
think
anyone knows,
I don't
anybody
think.
knows, feel free to
Yeah.
drop questions in the chat. As you mentioned, like this is a live chat. So if you have questions, the chats are open. They'll show up right on screen. We're not going to like censor comments or anything. But that being said, here is the here's the thread here, which let's get that's maybe a bit bigger.
Hmm.
OX Moves, who I don't know who OX Moves is, but I also I have a lot of respect for OX Moves because I kind of follow people in the curve ecosystem, and he's been like a big curve person. So like when he speaks, I want to pay attention. Um, and he says that his first tweet is support the curve project Y&D has the worst and most crime-filled launch of any project, which is a very serious allegation. And it gets attention. Any project in the ecosystem is then the first, definitely got my attention. This first tweet in the lead up to the TGE, 500 million TVL was touted, which was quickly updated a day after TGE to sub 180 million. Oops. Discord admins claimed this was a bug until it was confirmed days later that it wasn't a bug at all, and their partner asset was not reporting correctly. Convenient timing. So what's the story with this?
Yeah, that's well, yeah, that's very interesting, right? So you have certain BTC derivatives that we work with, and basically the Bitcoin they were reporting was not correct, right? So we had to delist that derivative. Luckily, the strategy was isolated, right? So it didn't evolve or hit any of our strategies at all. But we had to delist that collateral because it was just not backed by real Bitcoin, right? So that's why we had to delist, unfortunately. Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with that particular asset, COBTC, I think it says.
Yeah.
What's
Correct.
COBTC?
Yeah, that's a BTC derivative that basically should be backed 1-to-1. We helped them with building a strategy because they got deposited on kernel and they wanted to have a liquid version of their token to also go to Hemi and other places, right? So we helped them with that setup, integrated them on a layer 0 bridge because that's what our stack can do. Yeah, and that is also TVL that's listed, right? That people are using our protocol. We have much more TVL coming in also for our new assets we're building. And these assets, like when we did the checks, obviously this came in a couple of months, like 1 month or 2 months before the TGE, and we were kind of working with them to create more liquidity for them, and already found out quickly, guys, we do need to set up more pools, and that's what we also did with the Enzo BTC that we also had to delist. Because we found out that in that process, we couldn't get proofs of their Bitcoin collateral. So we had to delist them. So yeah, that was
And
not...
was this, I know you were talking with Llama Risk at some point. Was this something that Llama Risk found out? Were they the ones issuing the recommendations to delist?
No, so we were not at the moment, we were not working with Llama Risk on that at all. No. We were not, we were engaged with Llama Risk for the restaking categorizations and other research into that front. And so that YieldNest started as a liquid restaking platform. We spent a lot of time and energy on that. And with Llama Risk, we did a lot of the risk categorizations and the categories of restaking. Yeah, that didn't really work out. So we had to kind of pivot more into DeFi strategies. We're working with them with Llama Risk more on a fact by fact basis, where we make reports on YNEVX or other derivatives, but those collaterals have never been examined. We didn't have the time, right? We were very busy, but we did onboard them as an isolated strategy, but we didn't have yet the time to fully investigate it. And before we would hire or work with Llama Risk to investigate even deeper, we would could do a simple check ourselves and actually not simple, but basically what we did. But you look at the BTC deposit contract, and then you build back all the transactions, right? So you can see exactly like, okay, which Bitcoin moved in and actually minted it, and where is that Bitcoin now? Is that Bitcoin still sitting in the same place, or did it already move? And we found 40 Bitcoin in that way. So then we were like, okay, how much money is actually there, right? So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just getting back to the thread. So this was they posted the screenshot, which they said OXMove says that this is Discord admins claimed this was a bug. Reading the statement, Carl, who I'm guessing is a Discord admin, says it's just a bug. I believe this will be updated. Which sounds to me like I'm not sure about these things, but usually the Discord admins aren't always like 100% in the loop. So it sounds to me like he's saying what he's guessing. But I don't know. Like what's it?
What? Like yeah. I mean, of course, when this first happened, people like, oh, what happened here? And he's also probably asking himself, oh, what happened? Why did the TVL go away? Right? Because basically we were like, hey, this TVL is not real, right? It's not there. And we found that out. Also, DeFi Llama found it out before us, right? And there in the Coffer BTC case, DeFi Llama found it out before us, but the Enzo BTC, we took our own precaution and kind of reported to them that we want to remove the products.
Okay. All right. So I mean, like just going quickly through the thread, just shout out if there's anything you want to stop. But they talk about the YieldNest tokenomics being released, which I don't think there's any issue with that seems kind of weird to bring up. A week out from launch and the DEX volume is low. Like, I mean, you can't do anything about DEX volume. What about can you at all address this one where they spot directly?
Yes, and that's what I did in the beginning, right? So we had a tier 1 listing confirmed, and that last minute didn't fall through, and it was very devastating for ourselves as well. And we, as YieldNest, had no profit out of the TG. That's believe me, like we didn't make any profit out of this. We actually lost money with this because we were trying to obviously defend the bag and try to keep it at a better value. But we actually pulled out when we saw some behaviors on MEXC where basically the exchange contract was calling the DEX contract, and we were found that suspicious, and we didn't inject more liquidity for a while because we just saw a lot of carnage. Let's say it that way, right? There was a lot of dumpers. So then some way we picked it up at a lower pace, but then we now made the decision to just accept kind of what happened. It's not good. We didn't have the best launch, right? But we're still building the protocol. We want to focus on actually moving forward. We can keep thinking about what happened in the past. Like, believe me, like I worked on this for 2 years, right? Like I did, if I wanted to scam something with some sort of a rug pull, I think I could basically do a better job. Like that would be my intention. Like I didn't do that. I'm not a anon dev like he is himself. Like what did he build? I don't know, right? Like we're a transparent open source protocol. Then we're still maintaining over $100 million of TVL for our users, and we're doing that in a very good way. We're having a lot of good partners, and we're moving forward. Our protocols are working very well. Our security is working well. So moving forward, generating protocol revenue and building back slowly but surely, right? And that's what I also said in the AMA basically, and I will link to that after in the show notes where I actually go in detail, Garrett, into this topic, into the AMA.
Yeah, and I don't want to I don't want to like rehash everything that you just said on the AMA. So like I think for most questions, like we'll direct people to watch that AMA once it's live, and we'll post it, of course. This is maybe just an opportunity, I guess, to talk about anything that because I think you hadn't seen that thread by OX Moves ahead of the AMA. So is there anything else from the OX Moves thread before we kind of like get to a couple of the user questions that are streaming in that you would like to address that like maybe you didn't get a chance to address in the AMA?
No, No, I don't want to go into most of these allegations. I talked about everything that I need to talk about on that topic because
Yeah.
we clearly communicated in a governance forum post and in a Discord announcement channel like what happened. The tokens were not, when that happened, that was communicated, and that was not directly on the day of launch themselves. So that was later, actually, right? That happened not on the TGE itself. That happened afterwards, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, it's as simple as that, right? So like the simple reaction for me is like I could have also not done an airdrop, right? Like okay, then we don't do an airdrop. Like
Mhm.
it's as simple as that, right? There's more sellers than buyers, and I don't know what more I can say about that in that
Yeah.
regards.
So on that note, I should note that like myself, along with a lot of squid holders, received some YND in the airdrop, for which I'm very thankful. I didn't sell. I don't usually. I just staked or like whatever the held. What I don't even remember. But YieldNest holder. So like take my biases into account there. Do you want to address Kuso's question, which is that the tokenomics change without notice, is the point that I guess he's inferring to OX moves is thread.
Yeah, I mean that is what happened, right? So, but as I explained, we were aiming for tier one exchange, and we had a signed listing agreement with it, and that last minute
Mm-hmm.
got basically rocked under us, right? we basically had two decisions. That's what I will say. We could have postponed the airdrop and have not done the TGE, right? Because the idea was that we could, okay, we're just gonna go ahead, it's fine, but it didn't go as planned, right? So there were way more sellers than buyers. The airdrop probably that we gave was too big, or the perps market by the market maker was not well handled. There's a lot of like entropy and a lot of like different outcomes that can happen, right? So I could have either done the TGE and the airdrop, or I could have not done the TGE and the airdrop and just kind of go back and then change the tokenomics and communicate that okay, could have also been done, but I thought myself also that the price wouldn't go down this bad, right? So I'm as surprised as most people are that the outcome of our TGE was that negative. So also look at MEXC. We have not paid MEXC any YND for any listing. It was like I think a 50 or 60K like USD tether price for that, and I thought this is like kind of like enhancing the DEX listing on the Uniswap V4 pool. But luckily, we very quickly saw that, some anomalies that we didn't expect. And the market maker was just not reacting quick enough on certain things as well. But there's a lot of entropy in all these components that all get combined together. And basically, that is the decision, right? I could have done TGE but that didn't go well. Then I had to change the tokenomics, or I could have waited with these ETH tokenomics and then do the airdrop, right? So that's basically the decision, right?
Yeah. I mean, so I know it's like super late, and I don't want to keep you up way past your bedtime. I'll leave a few more minutes for people to like drop some comments and like give their thoughts. I mean, like reading through the thread, like my initial take on this was like it's a very serious charge to say that like it's criminal. And I didn't see any actual like evidence of crime, because like when I saw that I thought like you were saying, like rug pull, or like maybe there's like a backdoor key that you just like used to like take everyone's funds. I don't see any evidence of that. Like from what I see, like you mentioned, there's 100 million in TVL that is currently on YieldNest, which is now supported by a token that has a fully diluted valuation of 3.5 million, which is one of those crazy things about the crypto markets to me, that we can have like markets supporting TVL despite like very small FDV in the governance token behind it. But like you have done a responsible job from everything I've seen of stewarding and shepherding those funds. So my take on reading the thread was like, like there's a lot of like stuff in here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I know that these things are messy because everyone you hope it's a nice straight line, but it's very tough launching a protocol. I've also seen you building in public for 2 years, which means a lot to me. So I think the fact that you have been building in public and working so hard on it like speaks a lot. But anyway, Kuso doesn't like what I'm saying. He says I make no sense and I'm absolutely rambling.
Yeah, well, no, I basically want to go back in founder mode, right? So the thing is, like, doing a TGE is difficult, and as you said, I've been working on this for 2 years in founder mode, and we did deliver stuff like tech. I deployed new things, like what we built is not just a fork or something. We just build our own like stack, right? And that's what I've been trying to focus on. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm indeed really tired, guys. It's been a very long day for me, but I hope everything that I have communicated makes like. I hope that I have communicated everything that I needed to say about the topic. It's a very long day for me, but I'm building actually, guys. I'm actually working on things, pretty cool things that maybe
Could you give any
after this would kind of talk about. But the last thing I would like to say about it is like I just want to apologize for anybody, of course, that has any negative feelings about it. But I really did my best on it, and like we released a token, we did an airdrop, and basically like we gave a lot of like also to different like shareholders, different people in the DeFi ecosystem, try to incentivize it and kind of maybe like an old school airdrop. Maybe that was the mistake, right? Because a lot of new airdrops kind of let people sign wallets and things like that. So we were maybe too old school. And I think like learning about this for me, it's also we should like do basically have better incentive structures when we do these kind of TGEs, and especially on the centralized exchange side, right? Like those politics need to be removed. It actually makes me my TGE made me more bullish on DeFi, but I think we do need to solve a couple of things still in DeFi. But yeah, that if that is solved, then we can actually completely do DeFi TGEs. I don't see why we cannot do that, especially things like hyper liquid and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. You did tease that you're building some new stuff. Like I am curious to hear about the like what's next for YieldNest, presuming that the you get through any like FUD or allegations and come through and start shipping stuff again. What's can you give us a sneak peek in the alpha?
Yeah, of course, I would love to. So basically, we released our new YN USDX product, and it's kind of showcase what our strategies can do. Right, so we've kind of built let me actually open everything and then talk. Basically, we built a USDC derivative product, and we can scale in like different yield sources, right? And the same thing we did on the ETH side and on the BNB side. Basically, we have around 13% BNB yield, around 4.4% on the ETH. That's gonna we're working on getting that higher as well. On the USD side, we also have a good yield, right? And these kind of we can structure the different DeFi protocols in a way that we have instant redemption and yield engines, basically, right? So we're building the same structure, but then for an RWA asset. And the RWA asset is not unsecured credit. It's like actually secured on-chain credit backed by Australian real estate development. And I will talk more in depth about it probably in a different setting. And it's a little bit late here. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it. But I will just share my screen here, right? So 1 second.
Yeah, please do.
So it's like actually a sneak peek to the Leviathan news. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, I cannot share my screen, so never mind. I will. You guys will hear about that soon. I cannot share the screen, so I will.
We'll get you back, and
I'll have to leave.
We'll get you back on to talk
Yes.
about it and give when you're more rested, had your coffee and all that. Yeah.
I can actually share the. I can share the tech doc here actually in the chat. Maybe you can open it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's easier. Sharing is not working, but we're basically building a RWA backed like DeFi collateral asset, right? By YN RWA X, basically when RWA Max will give you around 10 to like 15% yield on your USD, right? And it's backed by real estate. So if you scroll down, you can actually see how it works. If you scroll to the happy flow, go to the wine RWA X Vault design, happy flow. Yes, there we go. So it's very simple how it works, right? And we actually have a whole, of course, it's like a standard like Max YieldNest GUI will be wrapped around this, right? But you invest USDC, and we will basically invest 80% in to the issuer that's basically going to generate around 15% APY, and then 20% will be injected into the buffer, right? So you have always instant redeemability at a certain amount, and yields get paid out 1 week in advance every week, right? And all that yield will also flow back into the buffer. So you have instant redeemability, but there's also a term duration behind it, right? And of course, there's also a liquid market for it. It's kind of like a first, I think, of its kind in the RWA market, and it's a non-KYC, no KYC or any of these of that nonsense. I think it's against my religion to do that. So I think we're going to openly release this. It's going to be fully integrated in DeFi. It will basically the way that the buffer works. It feeds the liquidity back into its own lending market. So you kind of have always utility for the RWA asset, right? Because a problem normally for these kind of DeFi assets is kind of kickstarting the liquidity for it, right? And what we built here is basically a way that you will have 80% that's sitting in a duration, and then 20% will always be available to withdraw. But it's, well, always available is the wrong wording, because it's actually useful also on the other side if people want to lever up, right? Because you basically give liquidity on the supply side on the lending market, and that functions as its own withdrawal module, basically.
Interesting stuff. Very cool. Yeah, we definitely want.
Yeah, more on later. Exciting.
Definitely want to have you back on sometime when it's not like crazy time, and you can like walk us through more detail. Real quick, do you want to like just talk on this one? Asking from the thread, there was a question about where the circulating supply of YND is. What's the best place for people to go to find the YND circulating supply?
Yeah, CoinMarketCap.
CoinMarketCap.
You can see it. Yeah.
Got it. Good stuff. Anything else you want to say while we got you, or should we like go ahead and wrap things up?
Yeah, you can continue if you want. No, that's it. Very grateful, Garrett, for this support, and that I could explain the tweets and the allegations, and I hope I explained myself very clearly, and also excited for what we're building, and happy I could showcase that. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to on my side, I have to like in the interest of like since we're all here in the interest of transparency, I also have to confess that some impropriety. 2 weeks ago on a live stream, I told people I was not going to be on a live stream today. I was supposed to be on vacation, but here we are. So I hopped on a live stream, cut the vacation short just so we could have a chance to chat and clear things up here. I hope we were able to clear things up here. And if anyone wondering about cutting the vacation short, let me just say that is a reason that I do live streams on the topic of crypto and Web3 advice, and not relationship advice. Dale, thank you so much for hopping on. Really appreciate it. Like hopefully that addresses any questions people have. If people have more questions, we hope we can get you back on a live stream in the next several days to like continue talking about it, or just continue talking about like some of the cool stuff YieldNest is building. Definitely appreciate you coming on. And I'm not the only person. It looks like the comments are skewing in your favor. We have a lot of people saying that they really appreciate it and that they really like what you're building. And I've heard as much. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep building, guys. Yeah, it's not fun. I think probably in a month or two time, I'm gonna publish a video on my own channel. I have my old on DeFi channel, and like a founder story about a TGE, and then just talk about it in detail because there's a lot of things to learn, for everyone because like, how do we build products and do TGEs? I think that's quite a difficult question if you want to build it yourself.
Very much so. Very much so.
Difficult question.
And on that subject, like when I mentioned I was going to do a live, like even if this hadn't happened and you hadn't joined us, I was going to do a live stream and do some squid chilling. So make sure to check out the AOZ QR code here. That's the Squid Pass. You can buy it at leviathannews.xyz. I was actually just going to like go through and talk through some of the website updates we're going to build. So I don't know if that's better or worse, but I'll save that for next week. The idea of like talking through some of the cool stuff that we're actually building out at Leviathan News, as well as like, just wanted to talk through some other DeFi updates because it's been a big week for a lot of things, right? Like markets going up, people bullish, curve back above $1, which is really cool. One of the things I was going to mention, and it's not financial advice because of course we don't do financial advice here. But I was just going to mention to people that like if you're looking for interesting possible like places to put your money, I would actually like think that like maybe do your own research, like selling some Curve and not selling Curve. Like I know you're like, what? Garrett's saying sell Curve, selling Curve for CVX CRV. The in the run up of Curve, the CVX CRV peg has dropped to like the lowest I've ever seen, like 30-40 cents. And historically, I've just like, because I have like a super long-term investment and time frame look on this, like I'll like take that buying opportunity because like I think what they're building with CVX CRV is pretty cool as well, and I can afford to wait years. And it usually like I don't think it's going away, and I think that the team will find a way to get it. It'll probably never get to 100% because that's not really how it operates. But not financial advice. Just that's what I was going to talk about. Like do your own research and see what you want. All right, friends.
I agree with that. I'm also a buyer of that as well. I think I think there's a lot of interesting ways to actually repack that system as well.
There are, and the fact that Resupply like 2 weeks or 1 week ago or whatever, like had their like terrible day where they had to like go through the hack and everything, and they're still around and still building and doing great stuff. Like gives me a lot of confidence that maybe something might happen with maybe they'll figure something out. But again, not financial advice. Do your own research. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.